What's going on there, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists? Welcome to this video. Um, it's not exactly my thoughts on, but it's something I'm thinking about. I played a game of ACW, American Civil War, with my friend Ralph Astley the other day. We did it over the course of 2 days using the black powder rules, and we also used Ralph used the Glory Hallelujah supplement. Now this is what's particularly specialised on the American Civil War side of the black powder rulebook. That's probably not the best way of putting it, actually. I played a game of American Civil War. First time I ever played a game with Ralph, and it was this same scenario. Forget the name of it now, but it's in the black powder rulebook, and we just used the basic black powder rules for that. But this Glory Hallelujah supplement gives you additional rules, which the idea is to make it more sort of realistic is the right word, but more, I don't know, true to feel for the American Civil War, and it does change the feel of it, I have to say, having played both versions, as it were, standard black powder rules, and using some, because we didn't use every rule that was from the Glory Hallelujah supplement, but enough to make quite a difference anyway. Now, before I say anything else, let me just say that this was a typical roll by Ralph of his saving throws he needed for various roles. He seemed to do much better on the defense than he did on the attack, but yeah, I can't believe it. It was 6 after 6 after 6 on the defense there. Yeah. Now, I've just had a look in the book. I couldn't remember the name of the scenario before, but it is called Daybreak at Hangman's Creek. So this was, and picture there, I believe, is the first picture setup of the game, and it is designed for 3 players per side, which is how I played it on the first occasion. So I was one of 3. I was playing the Confederates that time. In this game too, I also played the Confederates. I wanted to kind of redeem myself somewhat because I didn't do an awful lot that first time. I remember I was kind of stuck in trying to get my units to move, and they were not finding it very easy. Anyway, this was a great scenario. I think it's the only ACW scenario in the main black powder rulebook, but apparently there are several other scenarios in the Glory Hallelujah supplement, which is good to know, because primarily my purpose for this game was to ascertain, do I really want to get into ACW next year? And the answer on that one is yes, I do. And then B, the more problematic, the the biggest dilemma I have as to what scale to get into. So we played the game at a 15mm scale. Now black powder is written with 28mm in mind, although you can use any scale you want to, and it seems to work. We were converting the inches to centimeters, and that does work really well in this rule set, I have to say. Now, I'm not here to talk about the rules or the rule set. I'm really here just to talk about my thoughts on my interest in getting into it for next year. I've always been interested in the American Civil War. My father was really interested in it before me when he was alive still, and it seemed like a great thing to do, and also I can learn something as well as I read through the various books and kind of gain more of an insight into that period in history. So that will be great for me because I'm all for learning more new things. And so yeah, but do I really want to get into 15mm with this, or do I want to get into 28mm? Now the problem, I can see problems with both actually. Well, it's not problems. I can see just different aspects of both. Now, in order to set up that scenario on a 6x4 table, you really need to do it in 15mm, because in 28mm it's supposed to be on a 12-foot by 6-foot table. Now, I could fit that into my studio. I could, but you wouldn't have an awful lot of room in there, to be fair. It is doable, but I'd rather not. Maybe one day, who knows? But so the thing is, so if I was to go for 28mm, I'd have to work on smaller skirmish type scenarios, which I suppose would lose the feel of the game itself. I don't know. Honestly, don't know without trying it out. But then there's the whole. I mean, I looked at the 15mm figures. They look great on the tabletop. They really do. However, initially I looked at them and thought, wow, that would be difficult to paint. Although Ralph assures me it's not, and I can see the logic behind that. So I think they'd be fine to paint, and probably an awful lot cheaper to collect as well, and easier to store away. Now, talking about storage, I would need scenery, and the type of scenery I would need for it, I'd be looking at houses and buildings, things of that nature. I mean, trees. I could knock up some smaller trees to go with the smaller scale. I have a few smaller trees left over from when I was building my extensive collection of tree scatter-based terrain, which I use for the Fate of Fame recreation. But yeah, I mean, I could use those as well. But I think smaller trees would be best for it. I have walls and things like that. Hills are easy enough. I think I've got a couple of those. I'll just get my hands on some buildings. I've got a bridge, for that scenario. Tents and things like that I can make. That's not a problem. I can do that. But then there's the question of the 28mm. Now Perry do a starter box, I'm told, with a rule set with it. I don't know how good that rule set is, but it gives you enough figures to do a small skirmish in 28mm. Now 28mm appeals to me because I just like the whole 28mm thing. You can put so much more detail onto the figures, which, yes, it would take you more time to do. It would take me more time to do. But then that's what I like that. I do like that. So what do I do? So if I go 15mm, I'm going to have every bit of terrain is going to have to start from scratch, pretty much, apart from like rivers and things. I say that, but rivers, hills and trees, there you go. But there's not an awful lot of other terrain I would need, I suppose. But then in 28mm, I would still need a few buildings and things like that. So it's a dilemma, one I've got some time to think about. I have seen a few figures here and there on eBay in 15mm. I'm thinking about getting my hands on them because they wouldn't take up a lot of room. 100, 150 figures, it really wouldn't, not in 15mm. So there is the whole, it's cheaper to get the figures and get up and running and going with that. So that's a possibility. I may well do that. Knowing me, um, I'll probably end up doing both, just because I like them. I like the larger figures of 28 mil, but then when I want to play a larger scale proper war game, I would probably go down to 15 mil and do it that way. So that's what I'm thinking. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'm gonna hopefully aim. I'm aiming to get my hands on the Glory Hallelujah rulebook sometime in the new year. Like I say, it's not possible for me this year to progress with anything, just from a financial standpoint, but I am looking at doing that in the new year. So, as well as that, I'll get my hands on a few 15 mil figures, just to see what it's all about, to see if they can be. Well, if I get some that are already pre-painted, and I'll just see how easy they are to strip and paint myself. That's it. Or I'll get some from scratch, to paint up, see how they come together, see if I like the feel of it. I don't know if I'd ever go down to the likes of 6 mil. I mean, it looks great from a distance, but I just really can't. My eyes are not good enough for that. But yeah, so that's what I'll do. This game, it was a thoroughly enjoyable game. Like I say, we played it over the course of 2 days. Yeah, we had to, because it took so long. Because, like I say, it's written to have 3 players per side, but it was just Ralph and myself. So yeah, the bridge really was the key to the battle in the end. But Ralph has played this scenario many, many times with many different results each time. So, end of the day, it was a Confederate victory, but by the skin of my teeth, I feel. Yeah. My units and battalions, they were just on the right hand side of the table where I was. It was just they were not doing too well. But I did manage to capture the munitions factory and headed up towards the bridge. Like I say, that's where I won the battle, really, on that bridge with my artillery. Yeah, it's an interesting scenario. I look forward to hopefully playing future scenarios and trying out different things. That would be great. And yeah, so look out for further videos. Ralph did a more detailed battle report on his channel, so I'll leave a link to that in the video description below, so go on there, check that out. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.